And I would like to start with Andrea. Why do you think is access to lighting education so important?
Thanks, Chiara. You know, I think it's kind of a simple answer to a complex question. Without lighting education and access to lighting education, there's no sustainability to our profession. This is our future. You know, for those of us who are business owners, we need to continue to be able to have people that we can hire and train and send out who can then give back and bring in the next generation and the next. And it starts with education and awareness that A, lighting design is a profession, which, you know, how many little boys and girls grow up or, you know, wake up and go, I want to be a lighting designer when I grow up. Well, they should. It's really cool. But right now, I don't know that that's a reality. So I think, you know, it's so important that even at the youngest, you know, elementary ages or whatever it is, wherever we are, you know, access to even the simplest understanding what makes up white light, understanding why it matters, you know, how it impacts the color of your skin. Talk about inclusivity. I mean, that's as simple as it gets. So I think, you know, just all of these things give us our profession and knowing that there are other parts to it. It isn't just lighting design. I mean, without manufacturers, without the rest of the industry, I don't have anything to specify. So there's so much opportunity within the lighting industry and the lighting community. I think it's just starts with education.
And at some point I thought, well, they're sending out the request for applications, so I handed mine in and I was selected, and I can just recommend it to everybody. I mean, it's a fabulous experience. It's such a vibe in the city. I mean, you just feel that people are vivid, they feel the energy, they feel the, let's say, like the power of lighting really takes over the city. And then you have 1 week of working with students, with actually architectural lighting design students. There's an electrical school which actually supports, which is, I think, also very good hands-on experience for everybody to kind of like see, well, somebody needs to actually execute it. It's not just doing beautiful drawings and sketches and whatever, it's actually really feeling it and kind of like choosing lights. And there is an amazing support from the manufacturers. So we had several manufacturers kind of like pre-selected, suitable to whatever we thought of our topic would be, or like our story. I mean, in my year we had a theme called music or light and music, and Edvard Grieg, the famous Norwegian composer, kind of like we could choose like one of his songs or music pieces and then kind of like implement it into our work and our lighting work. And I mean, it was fabulous. And I think a couple of months back, I just looked at the images back then. I was really proud, you know, like looking at the work I've done. Well, not me, also the students, and it just really gave me a bond with that group of people, but also the whole group being there. So I'm still a good friend with some of the people there. So I hope you have a very similar experience, or even a better one.
A few questions about challenges, and I have one for Dean. What would be the challenges that arise when communicating about lighting design to non-experts, and how these challenges can be overcome? Please.
Well, funny is that the other day my very good friend architect sent me an email and says, what is human-centric lighting? And I told him that, I said, I'm going to answer to you like I answer to all my colleagues, is that I think that phrase is completely wrong, because all lighting is human-centric. And I also hate that word centric, because it means that we don't care about anybody else or anything else. But in words, in the simple words to explain it to you, I would have to go through all the facts of biology and so on, and simply I realized that we actually don't have words, linguistic fact, that we can explain what we do to people who don't speak our language. Because in order for people who are not involved in this profession to understand what you're talking about, you have to go with them through at least the basics so they can understand. So going back to the fact of education, I think we should start with little kids, actually. And, in kindergarten, because that's where you start to develop the sense of anything. And if you don't play, if you don't, start learning about the basics, then you will not understand, and then you will go and buy that cheap bulb and put it in your living room, like my father did a few weeks ago. And reality. So I think we need to find a different language that we are using in communicating our profession. A different language, a language that is understood by people who don't know anything about lighting. That I think is the first thing we should do. And also we should stop talking to ourselves about lighting. That's another big issue that I think we should address, because I don't know how many people here that are sitting and listening to us are not already involved in lighting profession, and it should be the opposite. We should be listened by people who are not involved in lighting profession, not to our colleagues, because we tend to convince each other how important our profession is.
Am I allowed to add something? I also would say that we need to get away from quantitative and head towards qualitative, because people know how they feel when they're in a space that makes them feel good, makes them feel bad, makes them feel whatever. They don't know what 10-foot candles is or $100. They don't care. It's about how they feel.
And so, again, about challenges, Andrea, what are some challenges that potential lighting designers could find when trying to access the profession?
I think it starts with just awareness that it's a profession. And just a very quick aside, my daughter-in-law took the bar, and one of the questions was a lighting design firm legal question, and in parentheses it said, yes, it's a real profession. So, but what that means from an accessibility, from anything standpoint, one, you have to have enough programs so that it's easy to find, but parents are typically footing the bill for students to go take these classes, and if they don't necessarily feel confident that these classes and this profession is going to result in a job that lets their children be successful and feed themselves and clothe themselves and have a roof over their heads, they're not going to be as likely to fund that kind of thing. So it really, again, it starts really, really young, and not just with the students, but with the parents, so that they're willing to take a chance on a less known profession. And then, one thing I think that's really important is the ability to communicate. We talk about being artists and being technical, and we are salespeople. We are selling clients on our concept that is really what meets their needs. If we can't do that, we lose. So, access to knowing how to communicate a design, how to draw it, how to write it, how to show it in some way with confidence that you really know what you're talking about and that you have the best interest of the client at heart. That can be an impediment if somebody isn't comfortable in that. So I think that's something that's pretty critical in my mind. Access to good mentors, and this is a great plug for the IALD and the Education Trust. We all benefited from those who came before us. We have to turn around and give right back, because mentors are hard to find, and it isn't even whoever you are, whatever you are, it really helps to have people who have gone before you and fought the good fight and know how to fight the good fight.
I think we should all agree that it's the matter of authority, actually.
Yeah.
Do we have enough authority in order to be present in all those fields, within architecture, within interior design and engineering and so on, so that we are going to be the mentors tomorrow? Mm-hmm. Do we have that authority if we're not called a profession?
I'm with you 100%.
For sure, interdisciplinarity is one of the, like, let's say, the sustained word of inclusivity, I would say, because light is for sure one of the most permeable beings we have. Actually, I would say the highest level of permeability. So that should be a base and should help, should facilitate interdisciplinarity. To answer maybe to your question, which I don't really have the answer, but maybe like an idea to support it, to say, maybe even if we don't feel like to have the authority because it's someone who would not consider that as a full profession, you would say like feeling, like make them understand how they're feeling without or with a certain type of lighting maybe might help.
Not so easy to answer.
No, so easy.
But I guess the next question will help us investigate further.
That's what I was just opening up to actually say, like we were also talking about environments that support, and so how can the lighting design community can actually help improving the access to the lighting design education? Would that maybe help to answer also the question before? And I would ask Paul to start with this, please.
Well, I would actually say promotion, but actually not promotion in terms of teaching or promoting the lighting design as a profession to, I mean, of course, youngsters as well, but what I felt lately is like promotion to actually our peers in the projects. So if you educate, if you kind of promote the profession to architects, to interior designers, to developers, tell them about the importance of a lighting designer within a project, you have other peers who are actually supporting you in another education. Because if they understand, hey, there needs to be a lighting education, and there's actually a big quality coming out of such an advice, and somebody who's actually like helping within the project, they promote that even in the next project and in the further next project, and kind of like bring that also in their architecture associations and other groups. So that's what I felt lately is really helping to promote a lighting design education, because they will call for it. At some point, architects will call and saying, hey, well, we need that knowledge, we need that education, because these people actually really help in terms of the quality for every project we've been working on.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very complex issue. I think maybe we should start thinking about decentralizing the profession and spreading it in certain ways, but I think that in the direction in which the world is heading, I think it's going to be more difficult to be the one with the authority, even though we didn't have any authority over 99% of the projects and buildings that were built on the planet. So for the 1%, we are considered a profession that is like a luxury kind of thing, and this is why the companies that are producing terrible products are still making profit, and that is just because of everything we said before, because of a lack of education regarding the quality, because also there is one very, very important issue, the demand, the need. If you need light, it's very simply to get it. You just put the bulb in the center of the ceiling, you have the light, enough quantity to see. And going beyond that, I think that besides the decentralization of the profession, besides the cooperation, somehow we need to reach to those who are going to make money out of it, because in today's world, if somebody is not making money out of it, it's not going to push enough. And they have the money, they have the means, they have the media to convince people, like they convince them to buy, compact fluorescent bulbs, and telling them that they're going to save, I don't know how much money on the energy, but they never told them they're going to poison the water. And then when the LED came up, they just, leave it, and then started with the other product. So it's a very complex issue. I think, first of all, we need to be able to make this as a recognized profession. Too many of my colleagues would say, I'm a lighting designer, but I'm trained in architecture or engineering or so on, so on. So we are a humble profession. We're not enough proud of our profession. We should admit it, you know. And it shouldn't be that way. And I think this is the way we're going to gain authority over the projects, because I know we know more than an architect, but then too many times, too often, you have to compromise because he doesn't like the way the fixture looks, and he doesn't care what light is going to provide. And you know, this is many things that need to be resolved. And what's coming, technologically, it's going to be even better.
All right, well, I'm just going to start with everybody deserves access to quality lighting. It's a simple place to start. We're the ambassadors for that. Nobody knows how to get a project there like we do. So if we start there, you know, yes, there's lots of periphery that pulls and pushes and you know, takes focus away from that. But at the end of the day, if we can keep the focus back there, and how do we do that? I don't know. You know, we keep designing with quality in mind instead of numbers. We get out there as ambassadors and talk to students and parents and humans, period, about why quality of light is so important. You know, give, however you can give, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's whatever, you know, but give back, because we've gotten so much from what I think is one of the coolest professions ever.
In your countries, do you see circadian entrainment being specified by lighting designers?
Who wants to start?
No.
Answer, quick answer. No. Like, some of us are actually studying, just because we are talking about education tonight, we are studying how light can support, well, for one certification, if we need to talk about certification, and also we are studying how light can somewhat induce or create alertness in people. But honestly, we do believe that still we have a little education to do towards our clients in order to make them understand first the wellness is the key, and then there are a few more steps that we still need to go to. So I would actually, in the spirit of collaboration kind of thing, say and hard the truth as well. For our friend in the LIRC, maybe when you do advertisement, you may want to know if we are up to date with our clients before advertising things. For once, that's my view. All right, unfortunately, I think it's time to say a few goodbyes. Before that, I would like to thank Remigio Architects for hosting Light in Agora. That is our Hub for event. It's going to continue tomorrow with other 3 fabulous events, among which the Women in Lighting Gathering. And obviously, I would like to thank our supporters that are allowing us to be here today. One, hopefully future LIRC member, Ehlert. One current LIRC member for lighting. And then we have the fabulous Valmont Industries, who we hope is going to become very soon LIRC member. They are all investigating this opportunity as we speak. And then we have, looks like with Claudio who is with us today, so please talk to Claudio later on. Of course, also Formal Lighting and Ehlert are in person. Unfortunately, Valmont couldn't join us. And I would like to thank all who are following us from home. Either you are a LIRC member or you're planning to be one, please get in touch with us. We will be happy to answer all of your questions on how great is the spirit of collaboration that we do support every day. And the same to the lighting designers in the room and at home. If you're not a IALD lighting designer yet, feel free to talk to me at any time of this evening. So I would like to say a huge thank you to our panelists. Surbhi, so sorry you cannot be with us. Dean,
thank you so much.
Andrea, Paul, thank you so very much. And Martina, thank you for being my co-host tonight.
Thank you for having me.
I can be so picky. Thank you for your patience. Thank you to the IALD and the LIRC